Eh sì, la... no. Buongiorno. Buongiorno a tutti.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning. So welcome to you all. Welcome to INTERNI's press conference, which starts Fuori Salone 2025. And this is a sort of rite of passage. Nothing starts without this day and this event. So let's start immediately with the introductory remarks from the city, without which this would not happen. So I would like to welcome to our Mayor of Milan, Mr. Beppe Sala, to start this event. Thank you very much, Monica. And welcome to you all. The 2025 Milano Design Week starts today. I have a fact sheet with millions of numbers, but I won't go into them. But what we see is that every day the events of Fuori Salone are increasing and they tend to spread over the city. This year we will be present in 18 city districts. We organized a competition to organize everything, but we know that Fuori Salone is thriving, has been thriving for years and years now. The great Cre-Action exhibition organized by INTERNI is a fundamental part of this rich agenda. Let me point out that this is a very interesting topic. It's very contemporary. So how creativity translates into action, which transforms and practically redefines spaces, habits, and behaviors. In a virtual world, and we all know that spaces to be filled give sense to what we are and to our city. But allow me to say a couple of things about Milan. Well, there's no need to say that, but Milan is often criticized, has often been criticized in recent years, and maybe we are not at the top of our history, but I wouldn't devaluate or undervalue everything that we are doing. Tourism is growing year after year. Airports, for example, Linate and Malpensa, saw between January and February a flow of passengers which increased by 10% versus the previous year. So our city is still attractive, and we are still doing things that should not be taken for granted. So we are creating jobs. In the end, in a world which is dominated by uncertainty, where you go from globalization to harsh stops, where we are all talking about tariffs now, clearly the main issue for a community is to continue creating jobs. And in Milan, there is very little unemployment. Then, of course, we can discuss about the quality of work and what should be done. People are telling us that with AI we're going to work 2 days a week only. Michele, it's too late for us, isn't it? But in the meantime, we need to work hard. There are many things to do. And I would like to be brief. And I'm especially here to thank you all. In my position as mayor, I would really like to thank those who are still working and who continue to feel the duty that we should keep building our city. Things have been there and for years and years we've been talking about the Milan model and the Milan example, and this cannot be replaced by emptiness. It must be replaced by something else. And this something else, and I've been repeating it over and over in the past few days, there's no point in simply saying what goes wrong and what should be, but we must add something else. How do we get there? Who is doing it, with which actions, and how credible you are. So I love you because you are credible people. You are bringing a message, you are conveying a message which is non-improvised, and you belong to companies that are creating jobs, they are creating skills, they are creating expertise, and this is your week. Let me launch an appeal. Clearly, this is a wonderful week for the citizens, but it's also quite demanding for our citizens. So let's try and not use cars whenever possible. And I think that in many cases this should be really possible. In the past few weeks, we have issued quite a few new taxi licenses, and we need them. We are increasing the number of trains and public buses. On Saturday, the underground, the tube, will stay open until 2 a.m. So we should all do whatever we can. But let's try not to use cars. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor Sala was saying it a few seconds ago. Cre-Action, creation and action. So creativity is something that happens. I cannot hide the fact that I feel very touched and emotional in seeing all these architects, designers, artists. They are all together in a moment when the world is going through very heavy tensions, and we are looking at our future with a lot of anguish and anxiety. But here we are thinking about the future, we are creating the future, we are building the future, and this is the energy that we have here today, and we should all be very grateful for their presence and for their work. And since this place is a historic place with very many connections with the Fuori Salone, I would like to welcome the Dean of the University of Milan, Marina Brambilla. So good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the Statale University. I would like to welcome the authorities, the Mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala, our designers, architects, and of course the Editor-in-Chief of INTERNI, Gilda Boiardi. Every year she is bringing extraordinary visions of future coming from the best of international design, and they melt here together in an extraordinary contrast with the architecture of this very beautiful and historic place, which is Ca' Granda, one of the oldest public hospitals. INTERNI's Fuori Salone is offering a creative reflection on our present, which is a contamination between design, art, science and technology. I believe that the word contamination or combination is the best to describe the very long relationship between INTERNI's Fuori Salone and the Statale University. INTERNI's installations establish a relationship here with an ecosystem which is scientific and educational. It is a large government, public and interdisciplinary university. And I would like to mention that all these installations are food for thought here. We should think in social, philosophical, sociological, political terms, in terms of environmental science, art. And these are all subjects that are studied and taught here. For the community of Statale University, these installations are really food for thought. And there's a virtuous circular economy of knowledge and creativity. In this respect, Fuori Salone and Statale are laboratories for the future, and they meet here in this common area, which is the area of creativity and imagination. And in a very complex historical moment, the coming together of different languages and the removal of barriers can help us interpret change and inspire innovative, practical ideas and real transformations. So thank you very much for this cultural experience, which is truly contemporary and which is made available to our city, to our international audience, but also to our students. And this year, they have met this call that we published so that they could participate as internis creators. Working together with INTERNI, 40 of our students will participate in that and will be able to tell their specific vision and sensitivity regarding the installations which are exhibited. They will tell their stories on the Instagram channel of INTERNI. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Professor. Thank you. And thank you very much for welcoming us in Statale.
Quindi ovviamente
I'm going to ask Mr. Antonio Porra from the Mondadori Group to be with us on the panel. Good afternoon to everyone. I immediately embraced the invitation of our mayor to say that Mondadori is present, INTERNI is present, and we want to do things. This is just one of the various projects I share the underlying thought of, but in this very moment you really need to be able to create and think about a future for all of us, a future which must be better than our present. I'm not going to use up too much of your time, so I'd like to start off by thanking the University of Milan and the Dean, Mrs. Brambilla, for hosting us once again and welcoming us in this beautiful place also this year. And of course, I'm going to thank our mayor, Giuseppe Sala, and the municipality of Milan that has always been supporting this project year after year. We're very happy to have also Mr. Ziberna, the mayor of Gorizia, here with us today. And Gorizia today, this year, is the capital of European Capital Culture for 2025. And then I'd like to thank our co-producers, in particular those who have been with us for more than 10 years, that is to say Audi, and of course I'd like to thank Padiglione Italia Expo 25 Osaka. As you have understood, today this year's project goes under the name of Cre-Action, and the idea is to have a creativity translating into concrete action. So it's fundamental. It is very important to take a concrete action. What we're going through is certainly a transformation process in design and architecture, but this also goes for philosophy and ecology, and of course, so this has an impact on the editorial world. The book, there's a book that the book is also very telling about this, because the books become more and more, decade after decade, something that changes, something that can move and change themselves. And this approach is what has been moving INTERNI since the very beginning. Its ability to translate ideas into shapes and being the driving force of many events. You simply had to take a look outside to see, the beautiful installations that have been set up by very important, very key international designers. And culture for us is also this, opening spaces where to have awareness grow as well as knowledge. And in this moment, also critical thought has to be considered. You see behind me some pictures here of Palazzo Mondadori, and last year I announced here an important project of renewal or refurbishment of the headquarters of our group, and of course also INTERNI. And today, after the actions started, the Oscar Niemeyer work that we all know as being one of the most representative works of art of the city is even more modern, even more beautiful and functional. And to remain loyal to our tradition, I would like to share with you some of these novelties. In May, we're going to reopen again a place which is really special for the city of Milan, and it is the Rizzoli, Libreria Rizzoli in Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, as it happened in our new flagship store in Piazza Scuolo, Duomo, but also the new bookstore, which was inaugurated in the heart of Rome. Also, the Rizzoli bookstore is going to play an important renewed role. It will, of course, continue to be very important from a social and cultural viewpoint in our city. So this is the historical place for Milan that we have completely renovated. So we will be able to meet in those spaces which are so profoundly linked to our story, to our history and our tradition. And I would like, before going to thank with very high esteem and affection Gilda Boiardi, editor-in-chief of INTERNI. And along with her, I'd like to thank all the editorial staff of INTERNI. Thank you, and let's enjoy this salone. Thank you so much. Thank you Antonio Porro. So, the mayor of Gorizia has been referred to a few seconds ago, so I'm going to ask him to be with us. Rodolfo Ziberna comes from this very beautiful city, and which today represents the Italian capital for culture. Here I am. Just a couple of minutes. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all on the part of Gorizia, that is going to be the European Capital of Culture 2025, but also the city of Pordenone is very important, and also the region Friuli Venezia Giulia that has asked to create this work of action. So you can see it outside, and you really have to go and take a very lively look at it. And I would like to, first of all, thank all the people who are here, the protagonists, the people who managed to, to move us with this, with all of their works of art. We've been very moved and emotional just stepping into here. And then I would like to also to thank the mayor, Beppa Sala, and a mayor knows very well how difficult it is to be a mayor, and it's not just, you cannot do things just by snapping, and things don't happen overnight. And then I would like to thank the beautiful and strong Gilda Boiardi, and also Stefano Centosi. Why? Because she's a designer of this work of art that has been asked by Regione Friuli Venezia Giulia, that has a leitmotif expressing the same messages. In a few weeks, we're going to install an ideal connection between Fuorisalone and the city of Milan and the city of Gorizia. And on that border, really, between Italy and Yugoslavia in the past, and Gorizia, Nova Gorizia, this border that has been witnessing tragedy in the last centuries, and along this border, as this border nowadays is representative of cohesion and international cooperation. So the message is precisely this: through knowledge, through this light, through the mutual knowledge, it is possible to convey respect. And And this is very important these days, because I think that through these tools, also other places in Italy, in the world, in this moment, which are going through a very difficult period, will be able to overcome. We hope that they're going to use the same tool as ours to overcome all this. So history is fundamental, and teaching history to the kids is just as fundamental, but what it is important is to go beyond these very terrible times. Just for seconds, come to Gorizia during the 2025, not just for arts, green and architecture, but also to use also the other senses. 6 seconds left. And of course, since I live there and I live in Collio, so also the wine in Collio is very important, as well as our gastronomy. Thank you very much, Mary. If you don't go to Gorizia after all this energy implemented, I don't know what you can do. So after an invitation like this, everyone has to go to Gorizia, absolutely. So thank you so much. Again, this is a path, it is a journey with very important people. I'm looking at Tim Bartlett, who's the director of Auditalia. I'm going to ask him to come to the floor. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Auditalia has been with INTERNI for 12 years now, and this relationship is long-lasting because it is important for competition. It is totally in line with our healthy obsession for design. But it is the first time that I take part in this extraordinary moment of communication, and I hope that my Italian is going to be okay, but I think you will understand that my origin is German. Certainly, we're going through a period characterized by extreme complexity, and it is even more true that the only tool to interpret this complexity is its opposite, that is to say, simplicity. So it is very difficult to be ingenious, and we all know it here. And in order to be as efficient as possible, we invest every single fiber of our being, and this is what you're doing. So years ago, we responded to the question about how to interpret the mobility of the future. So producing cars powered by renewable energies through a sustainable industrial process. And if in the last few years, during the design week, we have been talking about where we are convinced to go, what we're going to do this year is to go from where to how to reach the goal that we want to pursue. And all in all, the gist of it all is the concept of flexibility. That is to say, using technological flexibility as a tool, an enabling tool to implement a strategy. I was saying that we have to answer to complexity in a very simple manner, and technology is helping us in this respect to interpret every single need in terms of mobility. And so, in our House of Progress in Corso Venezia 11, along with the traditional technology of the new A6, and this is what we're going to introduce, and we're going to have the new A6 e-tron, full electric, and our representation. This is our practical representation of flexibility when it comes together. When it comes to bringing together different technology in terms of efficiency, and we gave Studio Thrift the task to create the installation Drift Us. Consider this as an invitation to reconsider the balance, the interaction between people, individuals, technology, and the environment, and so implement the future through the ability to evolve in order to create a system of forces that cooperate and support one another. It is an invitation that we appreciate and we're very serious about. And in this moment of great contrast, polarization, this invitation is for everyone. We're waiting for you in our House of Progress. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Tim. Now we're going to call on the floor Studio Drift as well, if they want to come with us.
Let's see if it works. So, tell us something about your creation, because it was just announced.
Well, thank you so much. We're very happy to collaborate in this beautiful setting with INTERNI and Audi on a beautiful project, and where our values align is, I think, we have both the mission to move people, Audi in a physical way, and as Drift, we have the mission to move people in an emotional way. So we'd love to invite everyone to experience the installation that we have in the House of Progress, where people are put in the position as if they are the wind, and they move the space, and the space moves them. So we would love people to feel, connect, and experience this installation that we created.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Grazie. Verremo tutti a...
Thank you so much. We will all come to experience your installation at Audi. And what happens at this point? Well, basically, I think that there's just one person in the world that can convince me to step on a panel where we have 23 people, and so I'm going to, and this person is Gilda Boiardi, so I will ask her to come and be with us. Thank you.
Grazie a tutti voi.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank all the authorities who spoke before me. I think a lot has already been said, so I will not speak for so long. In the wake of the mayor of Gorizia, but allow me to remember Fabrizio Longo. He is no longer with us. Thank you. But he shared with me this stage for 11 years, and he's left us a beautiful legacy in terms of thinking, contents, and what we have achieved together. So I would like to welcome the new director of Audi Italia, Tim Bartlett, who spoke before me. What can I say about INTERNI? Last year, we celebrated our first 70 years. So what are we going to do in the next 70 years? We will continue talking about transformation of architecture, design, and what happens with respect to social and urban changes. But who is making those changes? Designers. And we are so lucky, so fortunate to have them with us. But not only the designers, but also all the companies and the businesses that work together with them. Innovative companies that are able to follow all the intentions of our architects, designers, and artists. You've already heard about our main topic, and you are still seeing it on the screen, Cre-Action. We have more than 40 designers, those that are on stage and those in the audience, from 10 different nations, 10 different countries. So they are here in Statale University, they are at the Portrait, where we are talking about the progress of sustainable mobility, Botanical Garden, with 2 other designers who are not present here, and they are waiting for you later at 5 p.m. at the Braidense Gallery, where they will speak together with the director of the Botanical Garden of a specific interpretation of this topic, Cre-Action. And I would like to thank my CEO, the new Dean, Marina Brambilla, who continued with this tradition that is hosting us in these beautiful courtyards. And Audi, with Audi, we have shared a life of work and projects. I cannot forget my team of INTERNI. They have already been mentioned, but they've also done everything this year to come to this event. So I hope you will listen to our designers. They are visionaries, they experiment, and they make us think about our possible near future and also the future that must be sustainable. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Gilda. I really believe that your energy and your vision are the only elements that can put together this type of event, and in such a difficult moment. And now, let me come to you. I would like to speak now with the stars of this story and what we can experience and try in the next few days, thanks to their ability. Let's talk about Cre-Action, of course. Various elements move together to build reality. Let's start with the elements that build the world where we live, the creation. The primordial elements like air, earth, fire. And let's start with air. Piero Lissoni. He created an installation called Wind Labyrinth, which is a labyrinth of wind. What is the idea that originated your work, your installation? So good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you. Being the first one is extremely difficult, and I feel I've been cheated. If somebody had broken the ice, I would have felt better. But I only have 1 minute and 36 seconds. I'm trying to get to 2 minutes and then we will stop. My idea was very simple and at the same time very complex. I thought about the wind and I thought about labyrinths, mazes. Our lives are like big labyrinths, and I thought about the poetry of winds and labyrinths. When, with San Lorenzo, we decided to prepare this installation, and Swan, I thought about the first man who put a floating object in the water and was driven by the winds and discovered the labyrinths of life and of the journeys. So that was my foundation. In a courtyard from the 18th century, we prepared labyrinths with very many sails, all used sails, no new materials, in a sort of recreation. And then I thought I would offer those who will enter this courtyard this sense of labyrinthm and this sense of freedom, of liberation. There is no architecture, I didn't design anything, I simply made use of the wind, nothing more, nothing less. And as you can see, I managed to speak for 2 minutes. Thank you, fantastic. Thank you, Piero Lissoni with San Lorenzo. Thank you very much. And now let's move. Earth, Chen Yao Wang. There's a story in the main courtyard, which is a combination of cultures and combinations. What was your activity?
感动我的，我想以一种比较自己也能够兴奋、惊喜的方式来做一次以往我没有做过的尝试。我没有调动材料、调动高度，我选择了一个人类向往的春天，美好、阳光和鲜花，用这样的元素 来制造一个我心目中的惊喜的作品，我把它称之为 gift 礼物。作为东方设计师，能够参与这场米兰设计周全球创意者共同分享盛典的一种快乐的一个尝试。
Allora, da tanti anni io lavoro.
I've been working for many years as a designer, but this time I wanted to make a different project from what I usually do. I no longer wanted to use materials, I no longer wanted to use height, I didn't want to go deep in the ground, but I would like to imitate nature, weather, spring, and in spring, sky is part of my project. I considered it, I called it the gift, because in my opinion it's a great surprise that I can offer to the audience, to the visitors who are going to see my project here, and this is a sort of gift that I would like to give to the Design Week.
这一次我更加愿意和大家一起歌颂大自然的伟大。
Allora, noi celebriamo i disastri.
We celebrate design here, but this time we want to celebrate the greatness of nature.
作品的高度降到人的视线以下1.2米，让所有生活中的人、向往美好的人，在这个尺度里边找到自己是生活的主体，看着、俯视着金黄色代表幸福的鲜花，来感受我作为礼物奉献它这一份愉悦和美好。
Questa volta proprio.
This time I used a very short height for my project, 1 meter 20 centimeters, so that people are the protagonists of their lives, with all these golden flowers, and gold is the color of happiness and joy, and we can build our participation and our joy in my project.
我在的东方人对天地的一种思考，诗人的气质和浪漫的情怀，用写意的方式来诠释一下季节、春天的美好，跟每一个人分享他的幸福感的需求是可以达到一致的，所以我就用了所谓的材料，是把镜面不锈钢，把历史的建筑，把今天春天的蓝天和白云，把周边来自世界各地的人融合在我的这个作品里边，大家一起来共享、参与和分享 enjoy。所以我的作品它不是孤独的，和今年的 Cre-Action 创动，它是一个动词，它是邀请每一个人来在这里传递美好、传递幸福、传递快乐。
Dalla filosofia orientale.
So starting from Eastern philosophy, in Eastern philosophy we talked very much about the harmony between nature and people. And this time my design invites you, but it's not only inviting people, but it's also inviting nature and spring to be part of our project. And we, the people, we are completing this design, this project. We make it more complete, more harmonic. Thank you so much. Thank you for this journey and this explanation of the Eastern culture. While they are talking, you see in the videos how the installations were built. All those frantic hours of the preparation are present in the videos accompanying every one of them. Ma Jansson and Andrea Andrassi, you worked on Amazing Plaza for Amazon. The idea is to ask a question coming from the 1970s. Is architecture still politics? But let's try and see the story of your square.
colleagues here. but we're here every year, and Andrea and me, because we based in Beijing and Rome, and we're very happy to be here every year because it's like a festival. It's full of happiness. So this year we basically turned the courtyard into a plaza of celebration. So we make a pavilion with a design product exhibited inside, and around the pavilion it looked like urban plaza that we find very important in European cities, especially here in Italy. So it's open space for everyone.
Andrea.
Colgo l'occasione per ringraziare.
Well, I would like to thank Amazon, Gilda Boiardi, and INTERNI's team for giving us this chance. We've been working in Statale for a few years now, and as Ma was saying, we reinterpreted the Italian square, the Italian plaza, so we have this baptistry with products at the center, and around it we have these 100 stripes in different colors, and they create a sort of kaleidoscope of colors. So that's the idea. And then we have 3 thematic areas, so people can spend time in the square, speak, share emotions and knowledge. So we have created this sort of Plaza 2.0 where people can meet and people can think about design and the future of the city. So this is our idea for this year. It's an idea that we will experience. Celia Centonse. We mentioned the idea of Kalos. It's your project connected with the experience of Gorizia, European Capital of Culture. Gorizia is an extraordinary place where we experiment, we really experience the sense of borders, but a border which instead of a limitation becomes an opportunity going towards building a meeting. So absolutely, yes. Usually the border is a sort of barrier, but here, through arts and creativity, this border barrier can be reinterpreted and can be revisited. In this case, we tried to use natural material, transparencies, interactivity, to give a new vision of the border and turn it into a watering hole and a new opportunity. In our installation, we see this golden line which goes through these 2 gates, which represent Gorizia and Nova Gorica, and people are invited to cross this border and this barrier. And then we have these different colors, these transparent colors, invite people, and there are some keywords we also see. Yes, this is true, and I invite you to think and see how culture can open all these borders and create this combination between various cultures. Gorizia and Nova Gorica are 2 European cities, but they are in 2 different countries. And still, they managed to achieve this wonderful sharing. I would like to thank Region Friuli Venezia Giulia, the Mayor of Gorizia, Rodolfo Ziberna. I would like to thank Riccardo Valentini, Nobel Prize winner, who gave us this technology called the Tree Talker. And these vines are turned into life after human contact. And Stefano Zecchi is telling the history of Friuli Venezia Giulia. And I would like to thank Gilda Boiardi for giving us this opportunity this year.
Thank you very much. You could definitely have a round of applause, which is absolutely welcome. So this construction, big Bjarke Ingers group. So construction that goes into things, what is not visible to the eye. So the path, the journey becomes a journey of awareness.
The discovery of how to create awareness has been the process with Roca. And ultimately the structure manifests awareness by engagement, by interaction, by play and playfulness. Roca has this intelligence infrastructure that underlies through their products, where they track water consumption, and the challenge has been really how to be able to manifest that physically. So we proposed in this unique triangular site with this wonderful tree that just 4 days ago had no leaves and now is like entirely green. We proposed almost like this screen that looks into the plaza, this wall of water. Of 1,000 liters that are reused every 20 minutes, that really acts as a wall, as an architectural element. But when you play with it, when you try to understand how much water is actually being used, and you press the button, a door opens and you can actually enter in these spaces. The structure, or the 300 linear meters, are also a beam, are also columns that weave and maximize the site, and engage are pinched where the tree sits. So it creates two spaces of contemplation of the water in front and a more like social space on the back. And I think it is ultimately the uses of these 1,000 liters of water every 20 seconds, every 20 minutes, so 50 liters per minute. So if you stand in front of the structure for 3 minutes, it is the equivalent to the water spent to create an espresso cup, or also that a person uses per day. If you stand there for 80 minutes, it is the amount of water that takes to create a pair of jeans. So I think it is that physical awareness of the presence of water that for us has moved us, and in creating this one structure.
È vero, grazie, molto.
Thank you very much. Very important, very interesting, because making something physical, visible, an experience that otherwise is theoretical is very difficult. When we talk about water consumption, it's very tricky. When it becomes something physical, the experience on a daily basis, everything changes. Gilda was saying previously that we have various installations, various places in this moment that are to be present within the city. Orto Botanico, Philip Stark with the installation. Let's see what he has to tell us.
Buongiorno, mon nom est Philippe Stark. Lorsque mon ami m'a invité à participer à l'édition de cette année de Cre-Action, j'ai imaginé avec une installation politique qui révélait le pouvoir de la conscience collective. Dans un monde où les forces, les organes sont en mouvement, à une époque où nous sommes confrontés à des urgences sociales, politiques, écologiques et humaines, nous devons agir avec une position. D'ailleurs, le nom de l'événement en lui-même, INTERNI Cre-Action, implique la nécessité de créer une action. L'installation Work au jardin botanique de Brera est notre façon de le faire. C'est des déclarations politiques autant qu'un appel à réveiller les consciences et à agir ensemble. Anticipant la perspective d'un prochain conflit mondial, impliquant non seulement les États traditionnels, mais aussi les nouvelles entités armées privées, j'ai imaginé avec Babylon Co. la Hate Unlimited Corporation, une société qui se consacre depuis longtemps à la promotion de la haine à travers le monde, surtout dans ses formes les plus libres. Aujourd'hui, il faut bien le reconnaître, le pari est réussi. La haine trouve hélas chaque seconde d'autres chemins. C'est la raison pour laquelle la Hate Unlimited Corporation élargit aujourd'hui sa mission en éditant ce catalogue d'insignes, de drapeaux et de brassards. Il pourra aider chacun, individu, groupe armé, milice privée, gang, État, d'abord à s'y retrouver, ensuite à y retrouver les autres. Érigés dans les allées de l'Orto Botanico, 20 drapeaux présentent le répertoire inaugural de la corporation. Premier d'une longue série que nous enrichirons au fil du temps, des nuits et des guerres. D'abord, les Night Flags. Ces drapeaux qui, partout dans le monde, vous aideront à mesurer le progrès de la nuit qui descend. Une fois la nuit tombée, de nouveaux logos doivent submerger les esprits. Ce sont les Hate Flags. La démocratie construite au cours des 2500 dernières années se transforme en quelques jours en une crise mondiale. Nous savions que le monde était fragile et menacé, mais le matin, lorsque nous ouvrons les yeux, nous avons peur de le voir disparaître. Peur d'une nouvelle nuit, peur qu'un ordre brutal plante à nouveau son drapeau partout. War Flags transforme cette angoisse et ce choc en une vision de ce que pourrait être l'avenir, afin que nous puissions réagir avant qu'il ne soit trop tard. L'espoir n'existe que si nous décidons d'agir, et chacun d'entre nous a une responsabilité. Il existe de nombreuses façons d'agir et de lutter, et même les plus petits actes de résistance peuvent faire la différence. War Flags est le nôtre.
Messaggio notevolissimo, quello che ci consegna Philip Stark.
A very strong message from Philip Stark with this catalog, which is made available to those who are involved in this. And as happens every year, we have the various design islands where you have different fragments or stories which are created. I'm going to go through this in this moment. Here we have a collection of things you're going to really be able to see in the city.
You're my person.
You're my person, Antonio Mastrolilli with Beko Design, Ishigui and Plonzibo, Kebukuma and Associates, Genesi, Riflessi sul mare, Cristian Grande, and People Danelli Studio.
Eccoci qua, era il...
Here we are. This was the first group of design islands. Simone Micheli. Let's start with our round once again with Be Up that you have built, thinking about a project that brought you beyond that border you were talking about before. So I'll give you the floor. Thank you very much. Well, we have done, we have really made our planet suffer quite a lot, really. And the last few years, after a very magic moment of architecture, we're, you know, in the last few decades, we've been playing havoc and trying to create works of art that qualify our life. So this is the very thought behind what I do. So creation is absolutely related to this theme because it's a very strong action related to an expanding territory that necessarily has to be requalified. So it is an experience between what is real, what is virtual. So the project is a tourist that area that covers 80 villas, over 300, 200, and 150 rooms respectively, and this on an area of 12 hectares. And the section of one of these villas has been brought here to the courtyard statale. So these villas are going to have a wooden cover inside, but the virtual journey is about the experience of what you're going to feel when you step into this. So we need creations, we need to, and not just creativity, to give new stimuli to this earth. So the mayor, and the mayor who's still with us today, so please, we do believe in you with all the pair who have vision and stop the flow of the things that happen around us, which are really ugly, really, really bad. We're no longer aware of what we're seeing. We see so many bad things, and we need awe. We must be awed by things. We need action as well. Yes, and Cre-Action is precisely this. So an element of creativity that goes hand in hand with the idea of acting, of being present. Chris Cooper, work with light, and which becomes a way to structure the space.
Well, I have to say it's incredibly humbling to be in Italy talking about light structuring space. It's certainly from here that we've learned everything about how light structures space. But we do believe emphatically that light can build space, light can shape space, light can be the structure around which to make space. And I think we could all probably agree on that just by thinking about the base examples of the first man-made light, fire, candle, lantern. And we understand that light makes a volume. Light shapes the space around it, and it defines what happens in that space. And so we have been very interested in developing an optimized or an ideal or the perfect module of light. And we've been very fortunate to work with great coaches and colleagues at Artimide that has helped us develop this perfect delivery of both direct and indirect light, the perfect kind of volume of light that can shape space and that can expand infinitely to all types of spaces. And what's amazing, and what is our action, let's say here, is to deliver the most effective light with the least amount of effort. And that is the point of this piece, and it's the point that we try to celebrate in this installation. As we celebrate the figure, the symbol of that light is a simple cruciform, a kind of a symbolic point of light, a point of light that can be arrayed infinitely. And we've put those points of light in concert or in play or in dialogue with the wonderful historical context of this building. And then behind that we see truly the volumetric success of light as shaped color in dialogue directly with the building.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris. Amazing project. Thanks so much for telling us your story. And chi di solito...
who usually participates in this rite, which, as I said in the beginning, starts the week of INTERNI and the Fuori Salone. You know that when we have Apex Brazil, we talk about the relationship between the planet, architecture, history, and that's why Lorenza Brandao is talking about this installation conceived with Bruno Simoes, which is Cashew Rain. So, a rain of cashews.
Thank INTERNI. It's a pleasure to be here in the curatorship of this event for the fourth year. Also, I'd like to thank the Brazilian government and Apex Brazil for organizing it. So the cashew rain is a natural phenomenon that happens in the northeast Brazil, and it precedes the flowering of cashew trees. But more than representing the end of the dry season, it represents a new time to come, a time of hope and a time of transformation. The 50 design pieces that we showcase in this exhibition tell a little bit of the story of how Brazilian design how Brazilian design evokes its own memory in a way that the memory of how we work with our traditional materials, such as wood, stones, clay, natural fibers, and how we add innovations to them in an innovative way to see them with new techniques and with a new way to see these materials in a general way. This exhibition shows how design is a tool for social transformation, and also how design is part of building this cultural heritage as a collective movement. So I invite you all to go there to see this reign of transformation. Thank you.
Grazie, grazie davvero.
Thank you so much. And again, this idea of design that builds a journey, which is a cultural, a political journey for an entire area of the planet. Michele, Pascal, Evum, the relationship is very important, very heavy with the idea of time and technology. So the construction of a bridge which is not necessarily visible. Well, it's not a bridge, it's an arch, it's an arc, and it's an arc that brings us to the advancement of the world of architecture and constructions for new generations. This is the project you see here, started 10 years ago, when we experimented with 3D printing, and we wondered whether buildings could be printed on site instead of bringing the formworks for cement. If we have a robot and we print a building, we can adapt it to the site, we can print it in the shape we want, and everyone can build what they need and the geometries that they actually need. We spoke with a fantastic company, which is AATC from Verona. They're wonderful in working marble, and they design marble, drawing inspiration from the arcades and the porticos of Statale University of Milan. And with the marble dust, we printed arches with 3D printing. And everything is connected to the initial arc, building endlessly with the dust and the powders that result from marble. There's usually a lot of waste when you work marble, but we wanted to use them and create an aesthetic and a sophisticated element. Clearly, this is work in progress. And we hope that in the future we are going to build buildings with that, but this is a small passage. This is for the Salone. It's experimenting with materials. It's experimenting with ideas. This is not a finished product, but this is a product that will be the city of the future in 10 years' time. Yes, a lot of vision, the city of the future, which is Evum. So eternity is the future connected with the past, history, and the idea of continuity. Thank you very much, Zaha Hadid Architects, and Michele Pasca di Magliano. And going towards the Botanical Garden, the Strettone in the Pinacoteca di Brera, we have the installation by Marco Balic. And again, we are going back to War and Peace, and the installation is called It Means Peace.
My idea of Cre-Action is based on the call to action, which is to design an effort of peace. So we have imagined a few elements in the strettoia of the Orto Botanico, where we create a small narrow passage with noises of war. Then we put a big decision sign which is peace is a choice. And after peace is a choice, we enter in a journey of peace where we symbolize peace with a big tree and with lullaby from all over the world combined. And then we venture in the rest of the road heading to the Orto Botanico with big neon signs in various languages: Hebrew, Arabic, Hindi, Russian, 7 of them, in which we write the word peace. And the meaning is that peace must be sustained by everyone, and humanity needs peace, and peace is a choice. I'm very thankful to Gilda Boiardi for asking me to do this, because in this moment, in 2025, we need this call to action for peace. We need to make a statement of that. And in every sector, whether it's big events, design, architecture, art, we need to call out for peace as a statement, as a legacy, as a goal for the survival of humanity. And this moment is the moment to say it so, big and loud.
È così.
That's the way it is. I wondered how many of the people I met over these years in war areas would have the privilege to be here and hear these talks and just have the opportunity to dream about their future and think of a way of living which is not their everyday life they are confronted with. But every day we meet, things are getting worse out there and not better. And that's why it makes sense to have these thoughts. Michele De Lucchi in Cagranda with Rubner House, you built Catasta, a pile, which is a very specific place with a great value of research. Can I stand up? Yes, you can do everything you want on this stage. There's one thing I wanted to tell you in a very low voice. That's why I'm coming here. With my circle, we decided to make an experiment of virtual reality. A virtual reality which is so big, which is so exceptional, which is so innovative, which is so technological, that there are not even cameras, there are no computers, there is no AI, there is nothing. And I'm talking from me to my mind to your mind directly. Think you are in a wood, in a forest. You know, those woods with a lot of plants up there, trunks down here, and you walk slowly. And you walk on moss, you feel the earth under your feet, you see light coming through the branches, there's a silence, a light wind, birds are singing, and then all of a sudden you come in front of a pile of wood made by men. And there, with my circle, we thought, well, there we find everything. We find men caring for forests, cutting branches, stacking them on top of the other, and building a pile, protecting a material that will be used in dark times, when you can no longer go in woods gathering timber, hearing birds, feeling the wind, or seeing the sun rays through the branches. We will use the image of your pile over the next few days. It will follow us, I'm certain of that. Thank you so much. Massimo Alvisi and Junko Kirimoto. Time actions, movement, and again, building on what Michele De Lucchi said. Well, speaking after Michele is very difficult, but that's what we are doing. I would like to thank Interni and Corepla for giving us the opportunity to make this project. We drew inspiration from the Renaissance courtyard and we prepared a temple, a small temple with 6 columns, which are in connection with the columns of the courtyard and the space of the courtyard. 6 columns where people, as Michele, you said, well, people are the stars. They enter and they move the columns. They created their own space. They created their own movements, places where they can be with others and also think. Everything is made with recycled plastic, and we thought it was interesting to expose those tubes that usually you use for the fluids underground. They're usually hidden, but we have made them noble. We have exposed them so you can touch them, you can move them, and you can create your own space. It's a space to meditate. It's a spiritual space, isn't it? Yes. Spirituality is one of the things that we wanted to try and create in this very small space that was made available to us. In this case, we painted everything white in order to remove all the materials, colors, and all the decorative, the ornamental elements. And so we made it into a special space, and almost a sacred space. Thank you so much. With this journey that has become so intense and spiritual, also the reaction of those who keep thinking about your stories and that you are sharing with us is fantastic. And let's move to Marco Piva now with Saint-Gobain Beyond the Golden Age. So the term Golden Age is used in various situations, not all them desirable, and thinking about the future. What goes beyond what they are telling us and what is their golden age? Marco, thank you very much. Gilda, thank you very much for this title. It's one of the best in recent years, most appropriate. Everything has already been said about an ethical approach to design regarding materials, their reuse and regeneration. So this box that we created there symbolizes this movement towards sustainability and everything that has been said so far. But I wanted to start from Cre-Action. In this installation, you see a short video which starts from Genesis. So the image of light, which guides us to the discovery of the world. And I think that today we have this opportunity to reinterpret our work in a way which is creative, innovative, being aware of our limitations. In my next life I will go sailing, but in my next life I will deal with physics. And in that video I wanted to represent exactly this, the fact that there is dark matter, dark energy which fills our world, and it's dark because we have not perceived it yet physically, but it's actually the energy that moves things. So our suggestion through this video is to try and look inside yourself, try and find this energy that you have, and it's a good energy. It's the energy for to save ourselves and to save our planet. And this proves that we are all wanting this. This is our orientation, our direction. We should get the best of us, and we will have a wonderful journey together.
Thank you very much for this. Let's stay here in Cortile d'Onore with the Francesco Librizzi work for Damida. Which is the echo here? What are things that entwine in echoes? Well, it is a poetic reflection on the landscape. Everyone is here. Is about a ritual. Everyone is here helping visitors to overcome the thresholds between the physical space and fantasy. So we have created is a temple that arises from a secret garden. So echoes is, echoes is listening to the echoes of a place. So if hearing the echo of 500 years ago, and this echo is something that continues. So we are trying to imagine a new world on the legacy of what happened in the past. And when we use our imagination, our private ideas, we have our spiritual poetry humbugs. So the secret of Garden Francesco Venezia, and then the meeting between nature and animals, and by Rousseau. So which is the spirit? It's a home, it's a temple, so there's no separation in architecture between their spaces, spiritual space and physical space, and this is what it's all about. The real effort is to keep creating meaning. So a call to action is a call not to downsize the creative gesture, but to make it creative, make it not contemplating, but creating with your open eyes, not shut eyes. Thank you very much, Francesco Librizzi. Thank you to these echoes. At this point, we're going to navigate through the design islands. We're going to see a series of other stories and projects that we'll be able to see in this video. Dinelli Studio, Reflection by Ludovica Di Ligo, Gianni Canton, Pesce Bianco, Il Grande Pesce Bianco di Dario Ghibaudo, Federica Marangoni e La poltrona del viaggiatore di Marco Verenghi.
Altro pezzo di viaggio.
Another fragment of journey, another round of applause. So let's start again with Ubin for Empire, Drifting Yao. So a particular space, an intimate space, a space of reconnection, of reflection.
Everyone, I'm Wu Bing, a designer from Shanghai, China. My work is called Yao Ran Ting. The word Yao means the sun sitting behind the trees, like light slipping into a forest. Yao Ran suggests quiet and touchment. This installation airports time, space, and imagination through indication. It centers on two ideas, movement and stillness. And we want to belong both motion and the pause in the space. The corridor of the wood structure resents the movement. Light comes from both above and the premise. The sound activities by the visitors make the space vivid and alive. The courtyard, enclosed by a mirrored semicircle, repairs stillness, inviting the visitors to stay and feel the song flowing from the corridor. Thank you.
Thank you Wubin. E quindi insomma le vie.
Grazie mille Wubin. Annabelle Karinkassar. Now we have a threshold when we go through this inside and outside, and this is a point which is which marks this passage.
Gilda, this year I'm doing a beautiful door, the Portale Olamania, and I insist on that because this installation is a door with referring for me to the old master of painting, sculpture, architecture, like Donatello or big inspiration, or Brunelleschi. And so it pushes me to make a door with ornamentation, what I like architecture and ornamentation, and I like architecture and art and painting. And painting also, it's my painting, and it's also a way to reconnect my hand and my eyes, which for me very important, as we are in days where we are using much more communication through phone or computers, and I like pen, pencil, color. So that's something. What else I want? Yes, it's. I think also an ongoing investigation between architecture and painting. Voilà. And last thing that I think that creation is always pushing the boundaries to something new that we can find, taking risk. And I think that Cre-Action is also pushing people to emotions. And last thing that I like what I'm doing, I think it's important to say. That's it.
Assolutamente, grazie, grazie.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Annabelle Carincassa. At this point, I would concentrate on this idea of crossing with Pangea, with Colombin Joubert and Laetitia Rouget, and their Oasis of Happiness. Because we have these doors, these fabrics through which, you're going to cross, and where do you go?
Thanks for having us. We are Pangea, and we're thrilled to present Oasis of Happiness, a textile art installation created especially for the Statale and commissioned by Fidenza Village, part of Bister collection. How can we shape the future in a bright way? The essence of our duo is to create dynamics of positive and collective awareness. And we like to explore visual poetry through textile and colors to invite people to reconnect with their imagination, to dream and transform the future. So Oasis of Happiness is no exception to that. It was designed as a playful, immersive experience that interacts with the magnificent architecture of the university. We created 8 symbolic gates, so the Tessuti gates, embracing the building arches and drawing the visitor to cross both physical spaces but also emotional thresholds. The symbols we've embroidered on each gate are a way to understand our vision of happiness, which is connection. Connection to ourselves, connection to others, and connection to nature. The last arch, which carries a swing, is a way to reconnect to your inner child and sense of pure joy and emotion of lightness. We want to thank Fidenza Village for giving us the incredible opportunity to participate in INTERNI Fuori Salone. This is the 3rd year that they're taking part of this iconic event, and this year they show more than ever their commitment to share the power of creativity to make a change, and also promoting young female artists. But this is just the beginning of the journey. After the design week, the installation will travel to Fidenza Village, and it will join 28 permanent artworks that have transformed their village into a true open-air art space. We're very glad to see our work continue living and inspiring more people all around the world. And finally, we want to thank Gilda Boiardi and all the INTERNI team for this unbelievable experience. We really hope you'll enjoy stepping into our colorful world. Thank you.
Grazie, grazie a voi, e che bella questa idea dell'installazione che continuerà.
Thank you very much. How nice is this idea of the installation that will keep moving and meet many other people. Thank you so much. Then we have Francesco Di Ghetta, Magma, along with Atlas Concorde Mapei. With you, we're going to close this ideal journey, going back into the matter, the very genesis of the earth itself, and of the dynamics that take place on the surface of the earth. Well, I'm not ashamed to say that the very first thing that we did when we read the title of Design Week this year was to take a look at the dictionary and consider these are 2 words, creativity and action. We were struck, we're impressed by the fact that by creativity, there's a connection basically to human beings. There's nothing natural or considering or other human beings related to creativity. So this is the ability of finding innovative solutions. But being an architect, I'm very finicky, so I don't think that any architect would accept the very first answer. So we wondered whether the nature could be creative as well, and how it could be so. And the answer, once again, was, I don't know. We're not sure whether nature can be that, but certainly nature creates, and the same way it creates the environment where we live by defining the sea, the mountains, and how does it do this? With something that we all studied at school, so the plate tectonics. So we have used, as a rhetorical tool, this idea to define the design of our installation. We liked the idea of considering these fractures. So when you cross a labyrinth, you can get lost. You can get lost in an environment which is fragmented, but at the end, you're going to find yourself in the very middle of it, in this totem, mirrored totem, which is needed to reflect, because often if you don't have an outer viewpoint, you don't see what is happening. So we need to see ourselves from outside. So the totem helps us see which place we occupy within the environment that was changed. In this way, we use the modular plate tectonics for design purposes. Thank you very much, Francesco. And I had to say that when I was listening to you, I was thinking that you were describing the dynamics of the plate tectonics precisely like geologists do. So when we, as journalists, ask them to explain things that we ask them to explain what is happening. They also talk about the tragic event as if the Earth was redefining his approach, its very goal. So this is what I found in your speech. And then once again, inside the design islands, so we have Giulio Perella for Repubblica Argentina, Simone Ottieri, Fondazione per l'Infanzia Ronald McDonald Italia, e poi Claudio Larce, David Lopez Quinchoces e Francesco Meda, Glauco Ramazzotti, Extra Celeste, Viruta Lab Architects e Marco Leonatelli. Merci.
So very many journeys and crosses. So INTERNI for the Salone Design journey in the city is not at an end here. We have Elena Salmistraro. Please come on stage. We're going to talk about the Garden of Wonders that you have designed and made for Italy. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, what is this Garden of Wonders? We will all come and see it, of course. So, I would like to thank Italy, Interni and Gilda Boiardi, and also Ingegnoli for giving us all the plans for this installation. The Garden of Wonders, well, in order to design and conceive it, I started from this topic, Cre-Action. So it's a journey in this Cre-Action and in this creativity. This installation is a great ornament on the main facade with two eyes framed by leaves and geometrical shapes. Entering the mouth of this character, Mother Nature, you start your pathway, your winding pathway. We have these alleys and plants embracing us. Moving on the first floor, we will move towards the part where ideas are conceived, and we are going to see very strange, bizarre beings. On the second floor, in the restaurant area, there are other beings, and they will accompany us to the exit to our return to reality. It's like a magic circle. So let's chase all these beings in the Giardino delle Meraviglie, the Garden of Wonders, with Elena Salmistraro. Thank you so much. And then again in the city, Felice Limosani with Artist Life with Urban Up Unipol. So you have the floor. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, of course, Gilda, we can only say thank you. We all owe something to Gilda Boiardi because design with Gilda has become something which is clearly more important and deeper. Having said this, the idea in my work is a reflection, but this is no enlightened thinking. We're not thinking about environmental rhetoric. I simply wanted to put forwards in relation Earth, life, which is strictly connected with our, well, St. Francis called it Sister Mother Earth, the future that we build today, hoping that this will not just be simply hope, but it's acting and doing for people like us, because we are interested in doing something useful for our future. Then my client gave me the opportunity to be authentic in what I'm saying, Urban Up and Unipol, and I would like to thank my two friends, Serena Franco and Claudia Galassi. They gave me the opportunity to investigate their values in terms of renovation, requalification, rethinking things. So in lighting up these words, I thought about the idea of action, and then I looked at meaning in meanings. So life is hope, and as far as I am concerned, this is something we should leave to our children. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And now I can only thank you all. I would like to thank the entire audience for participating, for being here today, and I hope you will enjoy a wonderful week, because every time we walk out there, we have extraordinary opportunities here. We are in a part of the world that can still dream and design its future. This is not for everyone. Thank you and enjoy the Salone and the Fuorisalone.
Sei stato bravissimo.